Ideacity, the smartest people, the biggest ideas.
So our next speaker, I only just met him, looks like a movie star, actually. I was quite startled, but in fact, he's the world's leader in the design of handheld products. Ergonomics is his game, aesthetics is his heritage. He manages beautifully to combine both. You know, the stuff he's produced, the Microsoft mouse, the Gatorade bottle, the Sears sewing machine. Where's Bryce? Bryce Rutter.
Thank you. Well, I know, to begin with, I know one person who needs their prescription and their eyewear changed. I want to talk about the design of everyday products, the things that we love to hate, and the things that drive us crazy. And I want to do a little bit of a commentary on why they don't have to be that bad. So let me find my clicker here. And since I am an ergonomic geek, just the first comment is that you have to press down to go ahead, which is counterintuitive. So if I go in the wrong direction, please tell me. So I want to talk about design, of course, but I also can't talk about design until I talk a little bit about ergonomics. Now, when I say ergonomics, usually what happens is that your eyes glaze over and you say, oh no, that gray, steely stuff of the past, that's really boring. Well, I'm not talking about that old ergonomic stuff, because that even puts me to sleep. I'm talking about the new ergonomics. I'm talking about things that work the way this works. And since I'm a hand guy, the way these things work sounds fairly straightforward. I think this is an interesting question to ask yourself. You know, what is good design? And something that I would encourage you to do after I'm done is turn to the person to your right and tell that person what's your favorite, best designed product that you own. You've got one thing that you love that you tell everyone to keep their hands off. And that makes you feel like $1,000 when you use it. So I'm curious what that is. Now I want to talk about a day in the life, and that's kind of an interesting way to think about how design impacts you throughout the day. And there's no escaping design. Everything in our environment is designed. Now I have about 40 or 50 coffee mugs, but I always choose the same one every morning. I'm sure you do. And why do you do that? Because the coffee tastes so darn good in that one mug, right? And if you put it in any other mug, it tastes awful. It's like I can give you a pizza from Domino's and put it on some nice dinnerware, or I can give it to you out of the box, and I will guarantee you that it'll taste 10 times better on the dinnerware. How's that happen? Well, it's the whole experience. These are some things that drive me crazy. And I would be hard-pressed to find someone in here who doesn't agree, all right? I brought some. This is one of my favorites, aspirins, all right? You buy the aspirin because you have a headache or you have an ache or a pain. You try to get into the thing. The box is really not that easy to get into. Then you get into the little thing, the little container. Then you got to push and turn. Hey, these are not only child-proof, these are people-proof, all right? This does not work. Now, sure, it keeps kids out, but what about parents? But, you know, that's the easy way out. What about me? You know, I'm not 90 years old, and I don't have arthritis in my hand. These are hard to use, and there's no reason why they need to be this bad. All right, so now I get it open. Oh, no. All right? Where's the tab? All right, how do you get into this? Well, we've done research on this, and what you find is that people have their own special tools, all right? People carry a pen. People use corkscrews. And it's unbelievable the contamination that goes on. But anyways, what they should write on these things, if you don't have a headache, you will after you try to get into the package. All right, so now you're out of the house. Let's travel a little bit, right? See how humane travel is. Well, I'm sure you'd probably choose the car on the right. Well, maybe not, you know. I'm a car freak. I'd choose the car on the right over the little one on the left. You know, it's got a little bit more style and class. But look what they did to it on the inside. The iDrive system on BMW is so controversial. If you're young and you grew up with computers, you get it. But most of the people who can afford to buy this hardware are 102 years old, because that's how long it takes you to save up for it. By the time you get in the car, that little round thing in the top, that's your mouse controller down here that you, if you want to turn the heat up or turn on the radio, you have to go through the menu. You know, over, left, down. And by the time you get to the radio station you want, you're in the ditch. I tested one of these for BMW for a month. They shipped it. They dropped it off at our place. Like I said, you know how to drive this? Because it doesn't even have the regular, you know, park, neutral, and reverse. But I won't go in on that. I said, no. I said, but don't tell me. I just want to figure it out. He said, well, the manual is in the glove box. I said, I don't want to know. It took me 2.5 days to figure out how to change the radio station, and I refused to look at the manual. And I don't think I'm that stupid. You know, I'm probably representative of everyone in here. That's not right. This is the first time I've understood through the BMW dealership in St. Louis where I live, first time in their history that people have brought this car back and said, I'm returning the car. And they said, you can't return a car. This is not, you know, Sears where you return pants. No, you're taking the car back. I dumped 80 grand, 90 grand, and I can't figure it out. It is now your car. Now you can design out the risk. You'll know whether the thing is going to bomb before it even gets to the market. Manuals. All right, I brought some manuals. You know what they should stamp on these things? Is throw away as soon as you get them out of the box, because you never use them. You've got one of these have permeated our society, you know. I can't leave town without it. You know, this is my lifeline to my office, my clients. But you tell me why I need 220 pages to tell me how to operate something as simple as a cell phone. Has anyone read their manual front to back? Has anyone really figured out how to use all the technology? Well, let's look at my life a little bit deeper. This is what I carry on the road, my backpack. The plane goes down, it's going to look like 30 Radio Shack stores went down with it, because I'm not unusual, all right? And tell me why the AC adapter is bigger than my PDA. Come on, you know, no one's thinking about my lifestyle. And all the technical people who are developing these products, you know, they're in the back room, and this is true, because I've seen it and I've been there. Says, well, let's put this feature in. And you say, well, why? Because we can. It only takes 5 more lines of code. Well, do people really want it? And it's kind of like, well, why are you asking that stupid question? It's noise in the system. If you look at the percentage of the technology that you literally use on a daily basis, my guess would be about 5 to 10%. But we're in this marketing game that if you don't have all the features, you know, but listen, there's so many products on the market that when you hit it right and you give them people just what they want, the thing sails off the shelf. From an ergonomic perspective, aside from the manuals, and here's the manuals that supports that, all right? By the way, I lost count at around 1,000, 1,500 pages. I think there's something like, I counted 9 DVDs just to operate everything that is in that pile, all right? I'm not going to read that. Give me a break. No one's going to read that stuff. Eating. I love to eat. Don't know too many people who don't. Doesn't it frustrate the hell out of you, though? When you want to get into your Fruit Loops, and you try to get in there, can anyone, unless you have 3 hands, you know, and then, isn't that nice? And then half of the Fruit Loops are down inside the box, and you don't eat this in one day, so they go stale. So what do? Well, I'll just seal it up. Wow, that works great. And the cap, this always works, doesn't it, you know? Now, not everything is messed up, all right? There's a lot of great stuff out there. You know, there's seating out there that is actually comfortable. There's things that stop coffee from spilling with a little sip hole that you can open and close with your finger. You know, stuff like that. There's been toothbrushes that have been designed that when you put them in your hand, they actually fit your hand and they're a little bit more comfortable and they don't flip over on the side and you gouge your gum while you're brushing your teeth. Or paintbrushes that are shaped that when you pick it up, you naturally put it in your hand the way a professional painter does, so it makes you a better painter. Now that's good design. That's cool. That's good ergonomic design. Well, how do you do all that stuff? Well, I think it takes a different type of designer. I think it takes people with backgrounds not only in design and materials and manufacturing processes, but I think it takes people who are expert in understanding how we think, feel, and behave. People with backgrounds in anthropology and kinesiology and sociology and all those other ologies, whatever they are. And I think the highlighted one is the key to getting it right. It's the ergonomic side of the equation, is designing products that are intuitive, that feel good, that work well, that enhance the way that you do whatever it is you're doing. And in many cases, good design is the absence of you complaining. I think we need to take into account that we're all built different. Everyone in this room, I can take 3 people who are 6 feet tall that weigh 180 pounds. I'll guarantee you that they won't be the same. You know, all the proportions are different and unique. Cognitive ability changes, the cultural context of the product, and the culture in which the product lives. Every detail matters in the product, and when you think of the resolution that you have in your hands, and remember I'm a hand geek, so I'm not talking about the rest of the body, you know, you can sense a dot that's 3 microns high. Just to put that in perspective, a hair is about 50 to 100 microns. That's a small dot. So when you're manipulating the texture and the surface texture on a product, that's how you make it feel feminine, masculine, good grip, lousy grip, whether they're innies or outies, whether they're squigglies or straight lines. Those are the things that you should start to look for in products. Now, this thing that I'm talking about, this different process, you know, I've called it the ergonomics of living design process, and I'm not going to go through it in detail, but essentially what it is measuring how people think and feel and behave. Now, you tell that to a designer and say, oh, no, you can't measure design. Oh, yes, you can. Because all we're doing is going over to all the other disciplines, been doing this for 30 and 40 years, and bringing it over to the design pile, and bringing science to the equation. And it's really cool, because now you can design out the risk. You'll know whether the thing is going to bomb before it even gets to the market, which makes the bean counters really happy. So, you know, what does all this mean? I think you get a vote. I think you should use your vote. It's a good time to talk about voting. Vote at the cash register. Don't put up with this crap anymore. Don't buy it. Get on the 1-800 yell line. Tell them this is bad. And let them know that. They listen to those things. They watch them. They really do. Thanks very much.
Get the latest Idealist news, presenter information, and watch streaming video at www.ideacityonline.com.